global, is like a village. But some of us are still behind, we are far, but we shall move there. And one of our presenters was saying, we are using Access, Excel. I think that's the beginning. That's the beginning. We have argued with saying you have silo systems governing your records, but they are not complete. Ours, we have at least been involved in it, developing it. All the processes, as we have been working manually, we have tried our level best not to leave out any. You know, systems from shelves have issues, and many of you are using such systems. You know, Ministry of ICT has an innovation hub. And there are younger boys, even mature men, can also program. They are doing a lot of things in that hub. And that's where we went with the Ministry of ICT, using that hub innovation, and we sat for almost a year. Process. This one process, remove that one. Processes which were like 100, we reduced them to 5. Because most of them were just wasting time. It's the same thing. People were complaining about pension. Somebody from the village walks up to Ministry of Public Service. Things have changed. Processes removed, remained with the important process. And that's how we are working. It has been a big challenge, but we hope we shall move there. And I pray that you adopt ICT as the way forward. If we can't move, then archives, people were saying, now, those are important documents. We can't scan them and put them online. Yes, we cannot put on the line, but we can have them online. If somebody wants them, access control. It will not be just that when you go there, you get it. Even our phones, you know, when you want something very, very important, and you search Google, they will give you a little information, and that will be metadata. Kiria, the title is this, the author is this, and that. So, but if you want the whole information, either you pay, or you must have access. You have the authority to access it. If you don't, they don't give you. Social media, members, it's everywhere. Those who are using it badly, that's very shauri hour. That's their problem. But if you use it in the right way, for your own benefit, social media has made life easy. Information was a problem. As one lecturer said, that people who had that information, for example, us, we have a lot of information about our country, Uganda, from 1900. You would plug around, I'm the one. Kiria, where is Kiria? Kiria today is not there. He's the only one who knows where that information is. So we want to remove all that, such that we go electronic. You know, I was not prepared for this. I hope I've said something good to you. Let us discuss more. And we have WhatsApp of the professionals. Join it. We discuss. Because it's the only way we can talk. This business of gathering. You know, when COVID came, people thought, we are dead. But Zoom came, and we discussed. So we can continue discussing, not Zoom, but we can discuss with WhatsApp of professionals. And I urge URA, if you can make this forum online such that we talk and talk and talk and talk. There are many issues people want to discuss, but they can't discuss it here because we have them for this initiative, the Annual Records Management Forum. It's government, and we are working with them, but we need to improve. We need all of us to come together. They determine who to be called or invited, but we hope with time it will be for every records manager and archivist and information scientist, even IT, because it's one field. IT is a tool. They help us. As one presenter said, we fight each other. I don't know why we fight each other. We are the same. And we also have records managers who can program, because their major core is to program. You tell him a story, you say, okay, you will see it on the net, and you see it. But for us, it's managing records. So the challenge now is how are we managing those records put on a server somewhere? How are we managing as records managers? People thought when we go there, we are going to lose jobs. Even people fear to touch computers. But that's the way. You fear, we leave you behind. I thank everybody for listening to me. And when you are going back, safe journey. And pass on this, what you have heard, what you are going to discuss, to those who are not here, such that we build a couple for God and my country.
Asante sana. Now, the time we have been waiting for, which is the last session. I'm going to invite Linda to come and moderate over this session. As I put down the microphone personally, I will come back later when she has done justice. But we would encourage that there should be keeping of time. At least let's use minutes that do not go up to. Anyway, you are mature. You know how bad the time is.
Okay, thank you so much, Paul. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Have you eaten? Okay. I'm going to dive straight in. Please clap for him. Mr. Sachito Francis. Many people have told me here, that guy taught me. Mr. Sachito, I think it's time to become a professor. Then I'll invite Development Bank. You're welcome to the panel. And finally, records and registries. My name is Linda Namayanja. I am a records officer by heart, by birth, by everything. I did Bliss, and I see some of you. I recognize you. Then my master's, I did information systems and ventured into process management and analysis. I have also gone into project management, so I'm a certified PMP. I am also very, very interested in quality management systems. And as records officers, have you understood who your client is? Do you know what they want? How do you offer your services? That's quality. So, someone was telling me, Linda, how come you're here? I told them, this is home. So please, let's welcome our panelists today once more. You all saw the Slido connection. Please link to it, put on your questions. We have moved away from papers. Of course, some people still wanted to jot down some questions, that's okay, but please use Slido. So I'm going to start with Mr. John Sebunya. As records officers, Joseph, sorry, Mr. Joseph. As records officers, during your presentation, we know that we follow a cycle from creation of the information to how it's used, maintained, and disposed or archived. So you talked about the museum. I'm sure most of us here, we either destroy of our records. More about the museum. How can organizations here benefit from the museum? What is there for you to offer? How can they tap into the different activities you talked about here? Tell us more about the International Museum Day.
Thank you so much, Linda. Okay, as we are waiting for technology to take shape, ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Sevunya is my name. As I shared that I've been in the museum for the last 15 years. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Okay. Showing the existence of the museums. We have been so much confined within one space and we don't have an opportunity to showcase ourselves. So every year there is a theme that is being put out by ICOM International, which we look at and then develop concepts. Last year, URA Museum was brought on board, and we also had the vintage cars and all those guys. So we did a museum vintage car location drive, where we were flagged off by the Commissioner General from here. We went to UBC because they have an archives which is very rich. We went to Parliament. We flagged when we reached Bank of Uganda, we flagged because we could not access it. The main intention for doing this is not to show that museums are competing because we are public goods, but to see how can we complement one another. People to know that URA has a museum. People to know that Bank of Uganda has a money museum. Parliament is the custodian of our political. So that is what we did. Yesterday but one, we did another drive, and this was flagged off by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament. And the concept of this year was to see how do we package museums in a very creative way. And this time, we got museums mounted in the vintage cars. So we did mobile museums, which concept I think you've also looked at down with the URA Vintage Museum. So we mounted the museum.
On how can organizations here benefit from the museum? For example, URA has been privileged to get a course from you. You came and trained us on museology, archive management, and that's how we're able to come up with a museum. Because as records officers, we know that all records are in different forms. There's the paper, there are artifacts, and then there's the E. So how do we keep this to, one, ensure that organizational heritage is preserved? So how else can you support other organizations here to benefit from the museum?
Okay, now, thank you so much. As I talked about ICOM, ICOM Uganda is the national committee of the ICOM International, and the main reason why this body was established is to look at exhibitions, also look at the different agents of deterioration. I'll report my boss briefly, but not so much. When we were doing the drama, we had a prop, which was, we had props that were used in which were original artifacts, research, and all these things.